Okay, the last time I was talking about success, and the thing is that we tend to talk more about success, and people have been put into pressure because they have their concept of what it means to be successful. A lot of people are under pressure, especially this pressure is seen more, especially this in this kind of period of festivity. Um, and society has portrayed kind of picture of what it means to be successful, and these are being a kind of burden upon the youths of nowadays. I would say everyone wants to be successful or want to make it at all costs. Um, and that has prompted me to be doing these for some time now, where I've been talking about success and what it means to be successful. uh, the summary of what we have talked about in the past, we have talked about the fact that success in itself is a very, very subjective subject, such that there's no yardstick for measuring individual success. What it means to be successful to you may not be same for me. We give an example of how we should avoid external validation for success for us and for everyone. We made mention about how personal fulfillment can override external validation, and we cited example of of a person called J.K. Rowling, and who has faced or who faced rejection from numerous publishing publishers, and before finally finding success with Harry Potter. A success story challenges the societal pressure for instant success and recognition. Rolling success wasn't just financial. If you may know, it was deeply personal. She found fulfillment in her passion for storytelling, reminding us that true success might not always align with external validation. Success is dynamic. It is highly subjective. We talk about community impact as a measure of success. We may mention about the farmers market movement and the resurgence of farmers markets that challenged the conventional wisdom that success is measured solely by global scale. These local markets, often run by small scale farmers, emphasize community connections. We talk about success not being just a one size fits kind of approach. There are different kind of approach to success. So we lay emphasis on the fact that success is not subject is highly subjective. It's not something you can measure with a tape measure or a measuring instrument. The level of your own success is expected to be different from the level of my own success, and that is why we all got different success stories. So it's important that we do not put ourselves under undue pressure, because especially this period, this festive period, where people are beginning to align themselves with other people, trying to measure up with standards. So it is not necessary if you understand what it means to be successful. All that are not necessary. We said we're going to talk about the personal growth that was termed as success for the person of Eleanor Roosevelt. We talk about Roosevelt being a figure uh, often faced with obscure shadow of her husband, and the husband in this regard is the president called Franklin Roosevelt, who found her own path to success. So she redefined success not in political power, but in personal growth and advocacy. Her journey into the realms of human rights and diplomacy challenges the notion that success must conform to predefined societal roles. So with Eleanor Roosevelt, she didn't get success because her husband, then President Franklin Roosevelt, was a president, so she had to redefine what it means to be successful. And by the story, she was a success by the virtue of what she was able to do. So these stories that we've mentioned, several of these stories collectively challenge the societal norms surrounding success. So they encourage us to look beyond the traditional markers and consider success as a deeply personal and multifaceted journey. Like I said earlier on in the part one, when I talk about success being a highly dynamic subject and it has several phases. Success need not be confined to a particular career trajectory or financial status or societal recognition. Instead, it can be found in personal fulfillment, possible community impact, and continuous growth. So, I made mention about success being what should be tagged success should be that thing that align with personal values and as individual aspirations. If you aspire for a certain thing and if it's in line with your personal values that you've set for yourself, then if you achieve that, then that should be a form of success. It shouldn't be that you have a personal aspiration and you go out of your own personal value to fulfill it, then that shouldn't be success. That is why you see many youths of these days they want to say be rich. They don't mind whatever or however they get it. They just want to be rich. You see our young girls doing all sort of things these days, especially in this area of global economic meltdown. It has really done on our people, and because people do not really have values they can keen onto, so they tend to go astray and they achieve that thing that society has positioned or the perspective of society. They tend to achieve it and they feel uh, successful, but inward they know that they are not successful because what the road they took to get to that level were outside, totally outside their personal value or their upbringing. So that is a mismatch there. So, in questioning conventional notions, we should open ourselves to a broader and more inclusive understanding of success. As individuals, we can say redefine success in our own terms, but it must align with our values, like I earlier mentioned. It must align with our passions and the positive impact we make in our communities. So, this approach not only will serve as a kind of liberation to ourselves, but also to our community and the society at large. We should move away from societal expectation, but also allow for a more diverse and vibrant success stories. The deeper we stick to our values, and when we do so and we later achieve a kind of what we can tag success, then it will enrich our success stories. It will make our success story to be very engaging and interesting to say. Unlike those who are pass through, maybe you have to cut corners or do all sort of things to achieve what you term as success, but within you, you know that you are not there yet. So external measures of success like wealth, fame majorly should not define what success is. In a world that will have symbol of success to be money, to be fame, popularity, then we should be able to try as much as we can to walk away from that kind of notion and redefine success in our own accord. I also mentioned something about success or fame in itself being an illusion. Fame in itself, I mentioned that it's an illusion. It's not necessarily does not translate necessarily translate to being successful. We have a lot of famous people, but are miserable. A lot of famous people and are miserable. So it's not necessarily that until you are famous before you can see yourself as being a successful individual. I set an example of a man called Van Gogh. Van Gogh, one of history's most celebrated artists. He lived a life seemingly marked by creative brilliance, I would say. However, in success, in story unravels the myth that fame equates fulfillment, and that is not true. You may be famous and not fulfilled. Van Gogh's artistic genius wasn't widely recognized during his lifetime, and leaving him in relative obscurity despite posthumous acclaim. His life is a poignant reminder that external validation may not bring the inner satisfaction that true fulfillment requires. So you may be famous, you may even be wealthy, but not fulfilled. So if you are not fulfilled as a person, you do not have this inward or inner peace within you, irrespective of whatever you are doing, then success is far from you, I would say. So for we or for I as a person to tag you as a successful person, you must be such a person that have inner peace with whatever you are doing. So success, if you look at it that way, fame in itself to be equal to success is a mere illusion. And success itself also is also beyond your bank balance. It's beyond your account balance. It's beyond the amount of money you got in your account. So success is not synonymous to finance in its real sense. However, I'm not disputing the fact that with finances, if your finance uh, is very tap and good, you could derive some level of joy and happiness because your pocket is loaded. However, that does not translate for you to be tagged a successful person, because there are a lot of billionaires that are miserable. There are a lot of billionaires that are still not seeing themselves as being successful. They are still digging for peers and looking for the missing link. So the how fat your bank account is should not or cannot translate to mean success. Uh, I think I've been able to talk about, give a brief summary of everything that we talked about in part one. But for the case of today, I would not want to dive deeply into uh, this subject matter, but I want to talk about the identifying core values in journey for when you are trying to discover yourself and your journey towards success. Uh, so it's important that we talk about all that.